Hi, welcome back to Cybersecurity for Everyone. I'm Dr. Charles Harry. We've been talking about the hacking process. And if you remember, hacking is not simply a single action. It's a series of different actions that, when strung together, represent this idea of hacking. In this episode, we're going to talk about weaponization. So what is weaponization? At this stage of the hacking process, threat actors have finished their reconnaissance. They've evaluated the particular organization, they've looked at the technical vulnerabilities of those systems, and now they're preparing a particular plan of attack. They've identified specific vulnerabilities in technical systems. That could include things like the operating system, or even the applications that are on that particular device. And those exploits that they generate take advantage of these identified vulnerabilities. Those known vulnerabilities are often categorized. And there might even be sample code that's actually already written to take advantage of that particular vulnerability. So a repository of known vulnerabilities, known as the Common Vulnerabilities and Exposure Index, or CVE, is a repository of known vulnerabilities in technical systems that's maintained by the MITRE Corporation. You can find this repository in a searchable form at www.cvemitre.org. Threat actors leverage known vulnerabilities, or sometimes even unknown vulnerabilities, to exploit specific devices. So if there's a vulnerability in a particular version of Windows or Linux or the Mac OS system, then they would write a particular exploit to take advantage of that vulnerability. Unknown vulnerabilities are known as zero-day exploits. So what is that weaponization process then? Well, threat actors have conducted their reconnaissance and they've identified those weaknesses that we now know is a vulnerability in that system. They write an exploit to take advantage of a vulnerability, and they'll write this in any number of computer languages, something like Python, for instance. Those vulnerabilities provide a window of access to a targeted device. So when it is delivered, when that exploit is delivered, it opens up a window into that targeted device. Those exploits are wrapped together with some sort of delivery mechanism, which we'll talk about in a future episode. And they focus that effort against a very specific device or even a human target. So what are some of the takeaways about weaponization? Well, remember, hacking is a process. And the second phase of that process is weaponization. Weaponization is about writing an exploit to take advantage of a known or unknown vulnerability in a system. Exploits are paired with a means of delivery to a specific target, either a machine or a person. In our next episode, we'll talk about delivery and the importance of delivery in the hacking process. I hope to see you next time.